is release these all the way, both of them. And then spin the wheel so that it's on the small one here and the small one here. And what that does is it releases the chain tension.
Okay.
So there's as little chain tension as there's going to be. And then it gives you a spot to put it on when you put it back together. Okay, so you set it on the small cogs, then you release your quick release here, your skewer, and you release your brake right there. You see the way it widens?
Mm-hmm.
Then you just pop your wheel out like that. And then some people turn the bike over. I don't like to do that because it destroys the big old scar there. So I lay it down. You'll note I'm laying it down with the gears up.
Right.
And now this is going to be flat when we start out. So you got to pull that off. Flat. I just thought of one more thing you'll probably want to pick up, unless you've got real strong fingers. Okay, so your tire was flat when we took it off. Okay. Now let me see if I can get my little tool. These tools are about $4, and they're worth their weight in gold. They're tire levers.
Okay.
And they have a little hook. There.
Mm-hmm.
They have a little hooked end right here. You take that, and I usually go across from this to start. You hook it underneath, like that, and then you pull it down and hook it on a spoke.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then go over here and push that tire bead to the middle of the rim, all the way around. Okay? What that does is it loosens it because the diameter of the wheel is less in the middle of the rim than it is at the bead. So then you unhook it and just push it all the way around like that.
Okay.
Now most of the time you don't even have to take your tire off. You can just leave it on the other side. So you pull your old tube out, which is flat, like that, then you leave the tire on. See the way it's on there?
Okay.
Okay.
So if you hit something in the road, like a nail or something like that, is it going to puncture a hole through this?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a big deal.
Depends. If it's a big gash in the tire, then it's a big deal. When you air it up, if you can see the tube, don't even bother riding it because you're just going to pop it again.
Okay.
So then, if you have, sometimes what people will do is they'll take an old
Well,
sock,
then what causes people to have flats?
running over stuff on the road, picking up, like real common is chat, those little bitty pieces they're almost like glass, but they're rock.
Uh-huh.
That'll get in your tire. Steel belted radial wires will get into your tire. I've seen nails, I've seen staples, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, if you put an old sock or something in there, then you can put it over your hand, and then you want to run your fingers on the inside of the tire to make sure there's not something sticking through, because if there's something sticking through and you don't get it out of there, when you air your tire up, you've got another flat right then and there.
Okay.
Okay, so you check for that. Nothing in there. If there is, you peel it out. Then I just use my mouth, but get just enough air in it to give it a shape, like that. And then screw that in, just snug it up, because otherwise when you try and put it through the hole, you'll let air out if you bump it.
Okay, but the tube doesn't, does the tube come with this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all part of it. Okay, and then you find the hole for the valve.
Okay.
You pull it back like that, because the tube's going to end up on the inside of here. So you pull it back like that, slide your valve through, and then work the tube up inside the tire all the way around, like so. Now see the way it's on the outside of the rim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you want to work the tube up to the point where it sits on the rim. See the way I'm working it up into this part? Like that. You go all the way around and do that until the tube's up like that. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see it's up there where it is normally going to sit. Then I usually put the valve across from me, and then with my thumbs, I just work the bead of the tire around the rim. And that's going to be easier to do with that tube up inside where it's supposed to sit. Otherwise, you're going to be pinching the tube when you try and go around. That's why you put it up in there.
Okay.
Make sure your stem is straight. And then just go around as far as you can get with your thumbs. And see, now I've got pretty strong thumbs from doing this for so long. I can just pop that on and you're done. For you, remember how you pushed it to the center? You kind of work it to the center, and then you use the opposite side and just work it on like that.
Okay.
And then once you have your adapter, which I'll have for you probably Monday, it looks like this little thing here. And you put the little O-ring side toward the rim and screw it on like that, and then you can just use a standard pump on it. And this is what I was talking about when you're on the road. When you're out there and you've only got 1 or 2 CO2s, you want to just give it a little bit of air to give it a good solid feel, and then look at it and make sure, see that line right there?
Yes.
See it?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to make sure that's pretty much equal all the way around. Sometimes you'll have to kind of go like that. You go all the way around like that, and then flip it over. Same thing on this side. See the way that's a little bit low? See? Good all the way around. And then you're ready to hit it with the rest of your CO2, and it'll fill it up just that quick. How you do that. And then that little nut that we took off goes back on. The only thing that this is for, actually I should have put it on before I aired it up. And the reason for that is you just run it up, you don't run it up tight, you just run it up until it's barely snug, and then when you push your CO2 on it, it won't force it up inside there. See what I'm saying? If you don't put that nut on, you try and push the CO2, it'll shove it up inside like that.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you run that down, just so it's snug, if you pull it
Yeah,
tight...
because I saw that. I was watching you when you. I was going to ask about that because it looked like it was being pushed up in the.
Yes, and that is exactly why you put that on before you put the air in.
That makes sense.
And then you put your little cap on. Okay, now back to the bike. You remember you put it in the small one on the front and the small one on the back? The reason you do that, the number one reason, is that when you put this back together, you're going to put the gears, you got your chain up here, you got your chain down here. They go in, the gears go in between, and then you set that chain on that smallest cog, because that's the one you're shifted to. It just falls right into place. If you don't shift everything into the gears so that you know where they are and the chain has the least amount of tension on it, you'll fight it. You won't be able to get it in there. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. That's all there is to it. And then all you have to do is flip your brake lever down. And then I always grab the brake and make sure that the brake pad is only touching the rim.
Okay.
If it's funny or cocked, it means that it's not in down here. You just need to loosen that and make sure that wheel is in the dropouts. And then just snug it up and you're ready to go.